Now, a CBS 2 investigation. Look for parking in Chicago neighborhoods and you find signs marking spots that are reserved for handicapped drivers. Take another look, as our Pam Zeckman did, and you find lots of abuses.
In many neighborhoods, it's a daily battle to find a parking space, like here in Rogers Park.
Parking is horrendous. I've lived here for 3 years, and it seems to me to have gotten worse.
Worse here and elsewhere, in part because of the 8,000 parking places now reserved for people who supposedly have serious disabilities. On some blocks, there are 3 disabled spots in a row. To get one, the city ordinance says applicants must have a handicap plate or placard from the state, which means the disability is certified by a doctor. Under city laws, even if you are handicapped, you can't get a reserved parking space like this one if you have other accessible parking, like a driveway or a garage. But Sean Hunter, the owner of this car, has a disabled spot, even though he also has this 3-car garage behind the building he owns. He also owns a bar where he works, and neighbors wonder if he's really all that disabled. I tried to find out without success. Explain to me what your disability is. That's all I want to know.
If he's not in need, then give it up, because there's a whole bunch of us that would like to have a private parking spot.
This Jefferson Park resident is on a campaign to reduce the disabled parking places in her neighborhood to those truly in need. For example, she questions the need for the place reserved for this homeowner.
She does not even own a car, and yet she has a designated spot.
I used to drive, but not for 15 years.
So why do you have the spot?
So my daughter has a place to park for me, so that she can bring me my groceries or she can bring me my medication.
As for disgruntled neighbors,
what business is it theirs? And if I pay my taxes for all this property, why am I not entitled to it?
then there's this spot reserved for a man who died 3 years ago. His son, Don Kirsch, parks the limo he uses for his business here when he visits his mother. As far as you're concerned now?
The signs can come down.
Tom Hayes has serious medical problems, but he also has a two-car garage behind his house. He admits the reason he got the space in front of his home was to keep out commuters from other neighborhoods.
People conveniently park for free in our neighborhood, go to work for 8-10 hours, and then come back. They save whatever parking fees are.
But the city's ordinance wasn't designed for that.
Who's allowed to park on the street then? Just anybody?
It's a public street. That's what the streets are for parking.
Okay.
It's just a selfish, wrong thing.
Something, she says, the city should stop.
I think they should enforce their law.
Enforcement is supposed to be done by the city revenue department, but the process apparently broke down when this woman applied for a disabled spot in front of her Bronzeville home. She's State Representative Luvana Jones, who appears to get around the floor of the House pretty well as Assistant Majority Leader. She does have a problem with her feet.
You see that one is wrapped right there? Look down there. I am a diabetic and I have severe foot problems.
She also has a driveway and a 4-car garage that the city revenue inspector failed to notice when he supposedly visited her home to review her application for a handicapped parking spot.
Obviously, our investigator did not fully do their job. Clearly, the sign shouldn't have been put in place.
It's not so clear to Jones.
No.
Look at the law. Look at what this says.
I don't care about the law. I'm just telling you why I'm there.
For security reasons, she says, because she gets home late at night. How is it safer on the street? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because it's in front of my house. I get out and I walk right up the steps to my house.
Her neighbors who complain to us would like the same convenience. Your neighbors are upset. We got a complaint about you. And she doesn't care about the appearance of it all. Aren't you being greedy about parking? You have a driveway and garage.
Get out of my office. Get out of my office. Get out. Out. Out.
The city revenue director also sent inspectors to other locations we asked about and will review their status too. And he plans to begin a recertification of all the handicap spots in the city to make sure they're all still needed. Carol?
They're going to use the same inspectors that did the first inspection?
No, the one that messed up on the Jones case is going to be facing some disciplinary action, Murphy thinks, when he gets back from a disability leave himself. The other cases, they're going to be sending out mailers to be sure these people even still live in these locations. They want to be sure that all these places are needed, because if they aren't, there are handicapped people that want them.
See if they're still alive. So we'll see more.